What up, FIFA Tiers, and welcome to another episode of the FUT Tiers Podcast, which is obviously made up by the FSB creators, which includes myself, Mers, and Luke. How are you doing, guys?
Good, thank you very much.
Good as well.
Good. Now, we obviously have this podcast where we talk about everything FIFA, football, there's a Q&A, etc. Go and check us out on Twitter, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, etc. Now, over on YouTube, we do put episodes up of our own series when we collab with each other. They go up onto the channel, but also we have our own series, Bonus Draft Builder, which basically is a draft series that we can have as many people collab on as we want to. We're keeping it at the moment sort of a maximum of 4, just the aesthetics of how it looks on YouTube, but the main thing is there is an active giveaway on the last episode, so you need to go and watch that episode. There is a FIFA point giveaway. You need to get over to our Twitter, FSB Creators on Twitter. Go and follow us on there. You then need to subscribe to the channel and just comment what console you are on. Then Friday at 6 PM entries will close, and before the next bonus draft builder goes live on Saturday, we will draw out the winner of those FIFA points. So make sure you are subscribed, following us, and all that good stuff. You won't be able to obviously pack an RTTK by then because they will be out of packs, but there might be a new promo. But talking of RTTK, Mers, what do you think about the Team 2 and how's it been?
Yes, so obviously Team 2 is only running until Wednesday, so obviously we're having a feeling that might run into another promo. But for me, I feel personally for myself, I prefer the look of Team 2 over Team 1, mainly because I think there's a few more meta players, and I think value for money, like say for instance Marco Reus is a similar price to Sane from Team 1, but I think Reus is a better looking card in comparison. And then obviously the nightmare player that is in Team 2, Timo Werner, I think everyone that would obviously happily pack him, whether tradable or untradeable. Obviously tradable, you can sell him for a good healthy 873k as he is currently looking on Footbin, so that is a good amount of money. I mean, I feel personally, if this was like last year or something like that, I feel that Werner card would be over $1 million. I don't know about you guys, but I personally think the state of the market, like a lot of the players are cheaper than what they would be, say, in comparison to maybe last year.
I can see what you mean. I think that when if every other card in the promo was matching how they would have been in the market, then inevitably that should mean that Timo would be more expensive. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and also the fact is you can almost pretty much guarantee Timo's going to get those 2 upgrades because Chelsea, and I think they won, didn't they, during the week?
They did.
Yeah, so that's obviously what first out of the 3 wins. They're not exactly in a bad group either, so they should easily, comfortably get that double upgrade. And I don't know if the price yet is reflecting that, because I feel like obviously certain players that are more in the tougher groups, obviously they're going to be a bit more cheaper anyway. But once obviously
I know what you mean, like in terms of like the ones that are, like you say, almost seem guaranteed to be upgraded. Are they already at the set price they were going to be at? What do you think, Luke? Do you think?
Well, I've decided in the meantime to have a quick look at last year's RTTF promo to compare. So obviously players that are majorly expensive last year, looking at this here, was Rashford, Salah, Griezmann as the attackers, which you could replace with Son, Werner, and to a lesser extent, what Griezmann wouldn't have been as much, maybe someone like Reus or Sane in these sets of promos. But at least with last year's promo, you knew there was potential for much more upgrades, which is why they were worth the 1.5s and the stupid amounts that Rashford was worth.
Rashford was crazy. Yeah,
he was insanely.
He was also broken anyway.
Year.
I mean, he's pretty.
He was
broken this year, but
as is Werner. But my point I'm trying to come to here is that we don't know if these have upgrades beyond these 2 upgrades. Obviously, if these cards were last year, so say Sane Bayern card right mid. Firstly, it would have been a position change last year. Secondly, it would mean they could technically have gone all the way to the final and seen him hit like a 95 rated or whatever it'd have to be at that point for an 88. So there was always more potential with those. These ones,
true.
Technically, we don't know the true potential of what EA are planning on doing with these yet. So if it does turn into those, then I could understand the justifiably high prices, but that's why they're a little bit more capped. And the market.
Do you also think with that though that like, so say Werner's gone up to an 88 from start?
Yep.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have started that high, would he?
I don't.
Last year.
Like,
yeah.
No, that's
it would have been 85 last year.
Yeah, so he would have had to have gotten to like
well, they'd have won the league.
Stages
they won the whole thing. They won the whole thing, so yes, he would have reached that rating.
Yeah, but I mean, he would have had. So they would have had to have got out of the knockout stages to have reached what he is before they've reached the knockout stages this year, and then have gotten through to the semis or whatever to become a 90 card, which he will do in this
quarter final or the round of 16.
Also, not only
every leg was it last year.
It was the first knockout stage. It was always one.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas in this year it's a 2 upgrade, so it's a bit of a different sort of scenario in comparison to versus like, because also it's that massive gap between the next upgrade as well with the road to the finals. So you had that initial upgrade, but then you had to wait until February to then get March to get that next one, because obviously they had to win. Whoever won the first leg of the knockout stages then obviously got that upgrade. But also not on top of this, they've added road to knockout SBC requirements on Bernardo Silva and Politano, which has been a little bit of a surprise. I think that caught a lot of people off guard, because
I think everyone was just so fixated on how bad the market was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I brought myself a Texera anyway, because I was like, what I've been doing is any players that have been near that rock bottom price, the same with One to Watch, I went along, brought like all the One to Watches that were under 15k ready, just in case something like if they got an upgrade, then obviously they go up in value price. But obviously this caused everyone that was near that rock bottom price to jump up to like 30k because of the fact that it had that requirement, and then everyone's like, oh, quick, we got to buy these now, and then A, trade with them, and B, we got to put them into SBCs, because that Bernardo Silva looks quite good, and again is another card that's pretty much guaranteed to get the upgrade, so it goes from like an 88 to a 90 rated card, which for me, that is I prefer Bernardo Silva to Bruno Fernandes. And
so I mean, I would hate to like self-promote a video because it was a Twitter episode, but I did an episode on him. I didn't really get to use him in that episode for reasons that you'd see if you saw it. But basically, since then I've put him in my team, and he's fantastic. His left foot is incredible. It's actually incredible. Like, I've scored several, like, I know it's a meta anyway this year, or certainly has been, but I've scored several like finesses from like 30, 35 yards, and just generally on the ball he feels really agile. I really like him.
That's it. With the Bruno comparison, the one thing I do prefer about Bruno is he's a lot more balanced. Bernardo has a very low amount of defending. He has to be played as a cam instead of as a centre possibly.
Granted.
Bruno's got more versatility in that way.
I haven't actually used Bruno this year, I don't think. So
70 defending is his lowest stat on his face guard.
You can easily
defending
shove him in CDM, CM, cam, centre forward if you really wanted to. With Bruno. Whereas obviously with Bernardo, you're literally looking at cam, maybe. I mean, on a slim chance, you might be able to play him at CM.
Yeah,
he's playing CM for me.
I was about to say, you could. That is a very sadist move, like me with Vardy last year. That is bordering that territory.
He's playing right centre mid in a 4-3-1-2 for me.
Interesting.
Is that with two, maybe, like, obviously one defensive player, and then is the other CM a box-to-box, or is he a CDM? Like, what is other?
My left centre mid is Inform Foden.
Okay.
and my cam is Fekir,
Yeah.
and then my middle CM is Pogba.
Okay.
Okay, so...
I mean, Bernardo Silva works in the same way that my Vardy worked last year, because the defending stats aren't there, but he does have the high work rate to boot. So
Yeah.
he can do the job, but realistically, you'd want him a bit further up.
Yes. And then the other thing is we touched about this just briefly, is about road to the finals. And I touched on this in the previous episode, is I have a feeling that these cards will actually turn into road to the final cards once the knockout stages begins in February. Now, do you guys agree, or maybe do you disagree with that thought process?
I've seen like a few different takes on it in different other YouTube videos, where some people are under the belief that has been left open for that, and some don't, because they think of the rating upgrade they had. Why would they do that? Because technically, like, certainly if you take the meta player like a Werner, when he's a 90 rated card, he's going to be good enough to be endgame, isn't he? So why would you then need him to continue to get an upgrades from January or February when he's already going to be 90 rated? So that makes me think maybe not. But at the same time, imagine he does, and we're talking an upgrade, maybe not every leg, but every round. Like, you could have a 94 Werner by the end of it. I mean, come on now.
I don't know. That would match what it would have been in Road to the Final anyway, in my opinion.
But then they don't. Didn't he last year have a showdown? Then, like, if they did something like that at the end of it, he's going to end up needing to have like a 97, 98 showdown card as well, because they'll probably repeat him in that because they like to do that. So.
Firstly, that's a bit cynical, but secondly,
yeah,
in all honesty, when these get upgraded, +2 on these, the ones that would hit the proper high levels if they reach the finals of said competitions are Son, which Spurs aren't even looking that impressive in the Conference League, so that's unlikely to happen. They're not even going to top the group. De Jong, 89 rated, Royce, 89 rated, and then Werner. The rest, like Sane, Marquinhos, you got about 5 that could hit the very highest of heights, but then obviously not all of them are. Heck, they're not even guaranteed to. Out of all those 5, it could be underdogs, like Ajax's year. So obviously, you say at that point they'll be 97 rated or whatever, but think when that's actually happening.
Team of the season.
97s in May?
Yeah.
May, June. Oh no, dear God.
Exactly.
That's
and
expected
also,
at that point. That's when crazy season starts.
If they also get Team of the Season, so their Team of the Season cards will be better than these Road to the Final / Road to the Knockout cards as well at that stage. Yeah. So
the good thing is, looking at these as it stands at the moment, both Team 2s or Team 1 and Team 2, I don't see necessarily any Team of the Year cards, potential Team of the Year cards.
No, I would agree with that.
Son would have been the closest if it weren't for the fact that
Tottenham rubbish.
You're going to get someone on that left hand side who's like Mane or I don't know. Yeah,
Robertson.
Probably.
Robertson's in there. Marquinhos is in there. They're clutching at. Well, Robertson's not clutching at straws, but definitely Marquinhos is.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they, for the sake of Robertson being in there, maybe missed out a left back position and stuck in Man City centre backs
they've done it before. Let's or
Atletico Madrid centre backs. It was a big year for Atletico Madrid, wasn't it? So
I don't know.
They had a good year. They obviously won the league, but I don't think they did that well in terms of European competition.
I do have an alternative.
You got Man City for the league, and you got Chelsea for the Champions League, and Atletico for their La Liga win. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's mostly made up of those 3 teams.
Well, the thing is if you take out, I can think of obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold is probably going to be getting a Team of the Year. Then obviously Virgil van Dijk. Now there was a name that could be replacing Robertson as a left back or as another right back. Cancelo.
Yeah.
that could be a shout for somebody that could replace Robertson in Team of the Year. If you're thinking, oh, what if he gets a Team of the Year or doesn't get a Team of the Year? If you want to go down that sort of like avenue of thought process.
I'm still interested in this Atletico Madrid player that's not like, it would be just Oblak. Who else breaks into a Team of the Year? Who else is Team of the Year worthy?
The problem is I don't know the stats of them.
At a push, Suarez maybe.
Yeah.
Like, that is at a stretch.
I mean, for me, I think Team of the Year could be a little bit more interesting this
I think
year.
it will be more
He might get the
interesting
SBC, he might get the objective. That would be my verdict. But then he got an objective a previous year. I think like FIFA 20, I think. So
I mean, all I'm going to say is, viewers...
I don't see there being as many Liverpool players as there was last year.
Listeners, you're hearing it here first. All Team of the Year speak from the free FUT Tiers in October for a promo that's going to be happening basically in January time. Yeah, you've heard it here first. We're revealing the Team of the Year.
500k at most.
Yeah,
spoilers.
Yeah.
And the most expensive player be 50p.
Imagine that, like, if the most expensive is only a couple of mil because of the state that EA have made the market.
About safe, yeah.
I feel like as it gets towards that point, surely they'd have done something to have sorted the market out. There are things they could do. We talked about a couple, didn't we? But yeah.
But with the end of Road to the Knockout happening on a Wednesday, and One to Watch ended on a Wednesday, which then led straight into this promo, we're having an inkling that this is going to lead into another promo on Friday, which is... is EA just trying to cash in as much as they possibly can this year with promo after promo after promo? But what do you think? Because obviously last year we didn't have Ultimate Screen. So last Ultimate Screen was in FIFA 20. We're coming up to Halloween. Is it going to be another Halloween-based promo, or are we seeing another Rule Breakers, or are we maybe going to see like maybe some Record Breakers or something like that? Because obviously Record Breakers got added into the game, obviously with Anarchy Williams. What are we thinking? Go
on, you go first, Luke. I feel like I've
started. I don't really have too many thoughts on this. I don't think there's really a promo coming in.
You don't?
Nah, I think I see it as being a very brief lull until maybe week after.
Okay.
Personally, I am probably actually in a more controversial part of the scene of saying the promos are way too exaggerated and way too oversaturated. If we look back to the early days of FIFA, all there was Team of the Weeks. All there was Team of the Weeks, Team of the Year, Team of the Season. And then from FIFA 16 onwards, it started to stretch out into here's another one. Once to Watch, I think, was the start of it. And then that turned into a few other things. And now players expect a promo every week or two. Look at what happened when there was non-tent during, Team of the Season, just after?
Yeah.
Everyone was, there's no content, dead game.
Dead game.
Imagine telling that to someone that, dead game, FIFA 12 or 13, that, sorry, there's not been a promo for 2 weeks. What?
Yeah.
That's what you mean. Part of that has led to the downfall of the market. In a way.
I just think it's the way of the world now that they know that promos and boosting cards brings in money. So I feel like a promo Friday is inevitable. I am a little bit open to it being Scream more than I am Record Breakers, only because I think if they were going to do Record Breakers, they would have not done Anarchy Williams yet. Like, you just wait until you release it as a promo.
Yeah.
So it seems a bit weird to sort of tease one card and then go and release like 5 in packs. And I mean, if we're looking at like, would they ever do a 5-day promo? Because it was something I spoke about before we started this. Would they? They seem to be doing like a 5-day promo for the second teams of things now, and dropping a mini team on a Sunday, and it's all gone a little bit like, I don't know, a bit crazy in the sense that like we now get players on a Sunday that are only in packs for 3 days. So in that sense, I don't think it would put it past EA to release a promo on a Friday that finishes on a Wednesday. So I don't see why it wouldn't be Scream that then goes over Halloween weekend. which seems to make sense to me. Yeah, I am a little bit of a conspiracy theorist with those trick things that are in the consumables thing, so I wonder if that's just kind of like teasing it a little bit, and maybe that is potential. But yeah, I don't think there won't be anything. I just feel like something's going to drop. And I think it will be a version of Scream, whether it's Rule Breakers, Ultimate Scream, or Shapeshifter, something similar.
I would like to just jump back in quickly with the Record Breakers mention. I find it very unlikely it's Record Breakers.
Yeah,
Record Breakers last year, when it had its technically own promo release, where a whole bunch of them got put in, was just a thing to fill in packs for Black Friday specifically.
Yeah,
Black Friday had only
Team
of the Week at that point. They just loaded them in for Black Friday as here's something you can get.
Yeah.
That was the whole reason they got hoodwinked.
Here's another incentive
year.
to buy some FIFA points.
That was what that's not Rule Breakers. Record Breakers were last year. It was just Black Friday, FIFA 21. We need something in packs. Go.
And if you did get one, it was Fabregas or David Silva.
I mean, it was guaranteed 70k. No, it's guaranteed 70k.
Guaranteed 70k. Yeah, so that went which right now I think is
incredible.
More expensive than any 87 or low rated fodder card.
Absolutely.
As for myself, I do feel it's not going to be an Ultimate Scream. I think EA have basically buried the hatchet down with that now. I don't.
When I say that, I don't mean specifically Scream. I just mean a Scream type promo, like what Rule Breakers was, or like Shapeshifters was, where it's boosted stats on a player that needs them in certain areas and stuff.
Well, Shapeshifters was Ultimate Scream because it was a Halloween themed card as well. Like it was always like Ultimate Scream.
It was later in the year, wasn't it?
It was like January. I'm pretty certain Shapeshifters.
January, yeah.
It was always It
was very late in the year.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
Shapeshifters.
Yeah, it was like the CDM Marcelo.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be basically Rule Breakers, but without a Halloween themed card, basically. However, looking at it, I reckon it will be lasting until about the 10th of November, which would tie in with the end of the season as well, because obviously we're still in season 1. And also just looked up when season 1 ends, and it looks like it ends on a Thursday, not a Friday, which is an interesting thing, because obviously normally they would end the season on a Friday, because normally that's
the same time that they end the content usually.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, looking at the calendar and trying to work it out mathematically, it looks like it ends on the Thursday rather than the Friday. And obviously,
let's face it, we've got Div Rivals Awards on a Thursday, we've got Squad Battles on a Sunday, we've got FUT Champs whenever you want to take them, but if not, it's a Monday. Season promos ending on a Wednesday. Like it feels like they're just like all over the place with their days, or they're trying to make the most of a 7-day week. So yeah, it's crazy.
It's also the fact is as well as talking about things that happen normally. Like normally we always got that player pick SBC on a Sunday. Now they've moved it to Monday, and obviously today we got given another like SBC, which Luke is going to talk all about what they've released today. Go on then, Luke.
About to say, I thought you were stepping on my turf for a minute there. Team of the Week upgrade pack is the main one that came out. I've done one, got myself a Leeds right mid.
I mean, let's face it, that is a good pull.
It's a decent pull. Most years that would be worth a lot more than it is now. But
yes, exactly.
I'm pretty certain it's worth like 20k, which is
pretty much something like that.
Well, I traded on him over the weekend. I think he was up to 32 when I sold him.
He's 30 right now.
There you go.
Yeah, that's good. So I bought him all at 28k, thinking that people would get red Firmino and want someone to link to. He went up to 32, and now he's already plummeted. So the market is just in tatters. Volatile.
But yeah, it's an 83 rated squad, 70 chemistry. Not going to be too difficult for people, because I mean this normally this is the usual requirements, except sometimes they don't even have it as high as 70 chemistry. The usual requirements would have this set as what, 100k, 70k. This one, 11.
Yes. Yeah.
11k.
11k.
I'm pretty certain I saw 11k on Footbin. I'll double check it though.
More than likely, because like say you put in
11.4k.
Say you put in a Carlos Vela, he's like 900 coins, or you go and get your Højbjergs out who don't even sell for the discard price.
Yeah.
You know, there's ways to get the chemistry on this with those sort of players, and then even if you can't, and you've just got like 82s and a couple of 83s, an 84 or 85 to boost the rating is not much money, so it doesn't surprise me that it's only 11k. The only problem is most of the informs are also 11k.
Yep. They're all dead cheap at the moment.
It's crazy.
It's causing other SBCs to drop in price, obviously, mainly Politano, Bernardo Silva, but also causing a bit of a drop in Seko Fofana as well. With all these Team of the Weeks now more readily available than they already were. Yeah. And obviously the RTTKs as well needed for, I believe it's Politano. That makes it even
good segue
easier
into a video, by the way.
It is. We do have that coming up in the week. We'll elaborate more on that in the outro, but we do have a video on Politano coming up in this week. Talking of channels, obviously we do have a Twitch Prime pack coming out. It's come out today, I believe. So I know I've got 2 informs from it, which I'm not going to complain about. As much as the Team of the Week pack's out, I got myself an Ansu Fati, and I also got myself a Jude Bellingham, which is all right. Most years I'll be buzzing with that. But 12k and like 15, 20k is still meh.
Got 287s.
Yeah, that sounds good as well. Although I'm sure they might equal the same value depending on which ones they are.
Oh, probably, yeah.
15 to 20k
Trent
plus.
and Verratti, so, you know, yeah, I would imagine 30k maybe maximum.
Value then.
And yeah, no doubt, like we know, one of them is already duplicate of fodder, as many people are going to find when they open these. They are going to be duplicates of fodder they've already got, I'm sure.
But that is a reminder to encourage you guys to absolutely use your Twitch Prime where you can. Make sure you don't miss a month with it, because creators do appreciate it, such as myself, such as Mers, such as Brad. But as I say, use that on any content creator.
Don't use it on me. Use it on Mers or Luke. I don't stream.
There we go. Take that.
Well,
but yeah, use it on. Make sure it actually sees use, even if it's not on us. Make sure it does see use and doesn't go to waste.
Yeah, definitely. Talking the Team of the Weeks. I mean, I won't really. I'll first. I tell you what. First, I'll touch on the weekend's football that leads to Team of the Weeks. I'm just going to say, how'd you feel, Luke?
Not
you watched
that
the game?
Bad. Yeah, we didn't have a shot the second half. We played somewhat well that second half, but it was a catalogue of errors that led to the goal. Reguilon should not be taking on a player on the edge of his own box. That's problem 1. That caused the corner. Problem 2, Ollie Skip should be winning the header. Step 3, Harry Kane needs to put some damn effort in. Probably needs to be benched because now Bergwijn's back. So my plan of saying Bergwijn left, Moura right, through the middle, play Son. Try that out because Kane's clearly not where it's working at the moment. He's not with it.
Yeah, we talked about it just briefly. So we've recorded the episode on Politano already, which will be out, like you said, midweek. We spoke about it during that recording, or at the start of that recording, where we said a Harry Kane who is in a different frame of mind, say in form or just generally happy with his football, would not have headed that ball straight to the keeper. That would have been headed down, and that would have been a goal, and there'd have been no second thoughts about it. Like, everybody would have seen him on goal and thought, "Hey, we're 1-0 up, easy scored." You know.
And also fight for the ball from the corner to stop the goal. So
and
literally a leg stuck out by Antonio. He didn't have to do too much about it. He just stuck a leg out, nothing more.
I saw him. Don't get me wrong. I saw him put in another couple of nice passes, but really, at the end of the day, that's not what he's there for. It's nice. It's a nice thing to have in his game, but really, like, your striker's there to score goals. So if he's not scoring goals, like Luke said, I think it's time to bench him. Make him fight for his place again. Give him some passion.
All I say.
Yeah, well, give him some
If it's
passion
not
again.
working,
Give
he
him
doesn't
something to
want to be
fight
there.
for.
Try something different.
Yeah.
Try dropping him, see
Definitely.
if the team works better without him, which, I mean, if it doesn't, then obviously you can give him another shot, but
Yeah.
no player should be undroppable.
I mean,
No,
just
they shouldn't,
quickly, do you think Nuno is the type of manager that would be willing and able to actually say, no, Kane, you're not going to be in the team sheet this week, I'm going to bench you? Do you think he has the power to... Well, he has the power to do it, but do you think he's the type of manager that is actually willing to do it? Yeah,
You think
basically.
it matters?
No, I'll say it. No, I don't think he is.
What, do you think he's like on sort of still getting his feet in?
I think he thinks he's on shaky ground. If he starts making controversial decisions like dropping Kane, that he could lose more backing. He might be nervous to do that with the results.
But you
the way
can't be
they are.
also the only Spurs fan asking for that.
Oh no, I doubt I am. I highly doubt I am. Actually, I'm pretty certain I've seen the likes of Tim Lee, a fellow content creator on Twitter, complaining about Kane. Like, something needs to be done. A lot of people want to persist. They want everything to be rosy and good, but you got to try a few different things.
Definitely.
I said it's the same as what I said during the Euros. Actually, before the third game in the group, I said play Calvert-Lewin, give him a shot. There's no harm in it. We're already through.
Definitely.
If Calvert-Lewin does well, brilliant.
Oh,
Calvert-Lewin earns his place in the squad. If not,
I was begging.
bring Kane back
begging.
in. But no, we persisted with Kane. It worked out. We got to the final. But honestly, part of me
But
still
can you
thinks
really
should try it.
in a competition that's as short as that is afford to wait for someone to come good? No, we need to try something different. And I agree. Like, yes, we were fortunate that he did come good, but really, we should have been making moves when we had the game to be able to experiment a bit. We should have done it. And yeah, I hate seeing that. I hate seeing this persistence with someone because of the name they've built for themselves. If someone's not informed, someone's not informed. That doesn't mean they're untouchable just because they're Kane or just because they're Ronaldo or whatever. Like, if they're not informed, they're not informed. I mean, I'm saying Ronaldo. I'm not saying he's not informed at the moment. Man United generally are just a complete shambles. I watched that game and exactly what they said in the pundit room. Any together team would tear Man United apart right now. It's not just Liverpool. It's any team that's just got their act together.
Well, the stat I remember hearing is a lot of the teams that they've come back against recently have been subpar teams. Atalanta, for example, had 5 people missing.
6 people out.
And then 6 in the game. In the game, the 6th one, the goal scorer went off.
Lose their main player in the game after already having half a team. And, it needed to change at half time.
Everton had some people missing.
God.
Lucky goal against Wolves. You look at it. As Gary Neville said, you look at it and you think, how lucky are they to be on 12 points?
Yeah. And to be a
12,
Man U
14
supporter
points, I
right
think
now
it's
as well,
12.
I'd be looking at that thinking, hang on a minute, what happened to the team that played against Leeds? The team that we got excited about, the team that we thought have a chance this year.
Separate question, what happened to Leeds?
Yes,
that's true. Follow-up question.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't really know.
But going back to your question about Arsenal, I'm enjoying it at the moment. I think this has been the best performance by far so far this season, even better than like the game against Spurs. We're actually playing with confidence, which is what I'm liking to see. Obviously, I think not playing in Europe is again helping that sort of situation. That's why, like last season, I was saying I'd rather Arsenal didn't qualify for a European competition, because look at, like, for instance, what it did for Chelsea when they failed to qualify for the Champions League. They went and proceeded to win, obviously, the Premier League. Now, Arsenal are not going to be doing that, but I think it gives us a bit more of ability to be more rejuvenated at the weekend, to play with more energy, to then try and get back into Europe.
I think that's the main thing, isn't it?
Exactly. Because
the problem comes
to
if
get
you spend
into Europe
a couple years out. That's when the problem happens. If you take the year out and it doesn't improve, which at the moment obviously it remains to be seen, you are on the fringes of that sort of an area. Yeah. So you are in the position you want to be in, threatening an out of form Tottenham that's ahead of you. Are you ahead of United, or are you level with United?
We're level on points with United.
You got
we're
Brighton
behind
above
them.
as well. Like the door is very much open for Arsenal to make their way back into after a very shaky start with a lot of pressure on the manager, a lot of jokes at the fan base. They are now in a position to be bouncing back.
Yeah.
And it's whether do you still what is your thoughts on Arteta now? Have they changed in the last couple of weeks with this newfound resiliency? Or is it still a little bit on ice? What's your sort of situation?
I feel it's still a little bit on ice. I feel like Arteta isn't quite there for the big games. I don't think he has the tactical nous to set up the team to appropriately take on the big like teams. But for like what we're doing at the moment, I also think some of the like having Gabriel back has been obviously the biggest shot in the arm for like the defensive side of things.
Yeah.
Having obviously Tomiyasu's been like pretty much
he looks good.
He looks like one of the best signings of the summer in my opinion so far.
He's up there.
He's definitely up there. I mean, I said a big had a big debate on my stream with my viewers about like I would personally say Gabriel is a top 5 defender in the league because seeing what Arsenal couldn't do without him, like what they were doing without him, and then what they're doing now with him, shows like the pedigree and the quality of such a player. Because as we said like last week,
I see what you mean.
When you have a player out of the team, like, and you can see then how good of a player they actually are. It's like how much of a difference they make. It's the same with like Liverpool come in February time when they're going to lose Mane and Salah to the African Nations Cup. How are they going to perform without those two in the team? And it just
and just generally looking at what happened to them actually last year when they lost Van Dijk and had to kind of make do with some CDMs at centre back for a little while and stuff like.
Well, they had to make do with a lot more than that because there was 3 or 4 missing. Like they only used like Neco Williams.
Oh yeah, no Gomez,
no Gomez, no
Matip for a while.
Like they no Lovren. Well, I think they sold him. Like they were down to the absolute bare bones. Fabinho was
probably
out
didn't
for
even
a while
have the
as
bare
well
bones.
in there.
Yeah.
Like they were on ice. They were playing youngsters that had to get in Kabak. Let's not forget, man who's currently drowning at Norwich and previously drowned at Schalke.
The thing is, I don't even understand. Like, I don't even like he. In my opinion, if he was good enough to sign for Liverpool, should be like what you've just said. Gabriel is to Arsenal. He should be that man at Norwich. Yet he's fallen in with the rest of them. He's making as many, if not more, mistakes. Like
everyone around
there's a
him,
reason Liverpool did not take him on. He had one good game in the Champions League, I believe, and then that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
There's a sign when a relegation threatened, and guaranteed relegated side in Schalke were willing to loan out a centre back to someone else when they're guaranteed going down. I don't think they'd won a game that calendar year at that point, or maybe they'd won one at that point. They got close to a full year without winning a game. That is a sign that is desperation on Liverpool's part that they need a centre back, and B, that he's not that good.
Yes, he's not at all. But yeah, I know what you mean with the Arsenal thing. I think that although I don't think he is a top 5 centre back in the Prem, he means that to you, like in terms of he means that much to you that he's like having a top 5 centre back.
No.
Club
I actually think he's a top 5 centre back. I'm
saying I don't, but I see what you mean.
I can absolutely see what you mean, but you got to look at the likes of. So who would he knock out of this sort of a top 5?
Obviously,
Rudiger, say Rudiger, Thiago Silva, Ruben Diaz, Laporte, Van Dijk, just to name a few.
I was gonna say we just take Man
City. If I was to say like the top 5,
if
I was to say the top 5, then I'd be going with obviously without a doubt Van Dijk's number 1, right? No one can sort of
on
argue.
form at the moment. You'd say Matip's actually better than him, but
Matip.
Go on.
Yeah,
Matip's a better. He's been a better centre back this season than Van Dijk has.
But I think Matip is only a better centre back when Van Dijk is next to him. It's a sort of catch-22 situation where another player is making another player look good, and I think Matip looks better, and even pundits say it, like Matip is only realistically good when brings out Van Dijk brings out the best in Matip, basically, because I think he has the confidence of knowing that, like, if he fails, Matip can Van Dijk can bail him out of the situation. Ruben Diaz is up there. I don't know if I'd make him number 2, but like I'm trying to think of like who else I'd say in the top 5. Then Rudiger, yes. Trying to think
He's
of
been insane this season.
Yeah,
Thiago
and then
Silva's
I'm trying to think of like
Thiago Silva.
Thiago Silva, yes. But then I'm trying to think who else could possibly.
Joel Matip, I would stand by this season.
I personally would I wouldn't say he's top 5 overall. Like, yes, he's having a wonderful season, but I think if you have Van Dijk getting injured, then I think his season might come downhill a little bit, and like is a
maybe a little
quality.
bit. But Konate was good, so I'd be interested to see a centre back partnership with Konate and Matip.
Yeah.
Since they both seemed to perform very solidly this season. I mean, obviously it's one game for Konate, but it was an incredibly solid game, that match.
Against Man United.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Man United. This isn't a team that is
it's just
on cloud 9 at the moment.
The greatest talent of our time, maybe apart from Messi. You know, it's only him up front. It's only a really difficult player to mark and deal with.
Yeah, I've now got to see when Arsenal are playing Man United. 2nd of December. Right, we'll visit that.
Yeah,
revisit
December.
that.
Yep.
Revisit that. Yeah.
It's only United laughs Ronaldo. I've got to do.
But then
next
again,
week,
it also
mate.
depends if they get rid of Ollie in that time as well. Mind.
They could do. They absolutely should do, in my opinion. But
without a doubt,
they absolutely 100% should.
I feel like it's in the Q&A, so we'll
Laporte as well
bring
exists.
Like, Laporte is definitely better than Gabriel, definitely.
So that's 6 centre backs at the moment. I don't dispute that he's not in the
I also think John
top
Stones
10.
is probably better.
Stones is a shout, yeah. Like, I don't dispute that he's probably in the top 10.
Not
Varane's not
Stones.
even been mentioned. He wasn't a part of yesterday's massacre.
No.
So he was missing from that.
And I'm not saying if Varane's playing that's not 5-0. I'm just saying Varane as a centre back is better than Gabriel.
Because I think Luke Shaw was bad yesterday. Got sucked to the ball way too much. He
drawn away.
He kept getting drawn to the ball.
That second Salah goal, I was just like, really? You've pulled away that far from the guy who's literally on your side of the pitch?
He didn't trust the centre back to take care of him on his own, so he came over and then got sucked in an easy back post.
Yeah, probably. Maguire said the most honest thing in that at the end of the game, and I think he should be applauded for it. That everyone needs to go home and take a look in the mirror at the performance they put in that day, because they're all terrible.
I thought he said that price tag was paid for me wasn't worth it. That would have been the most honest thing.
That would have been a bit too honest though. He don't want to lose his wages, does he? But yeah, other games. So yeah, obviously we said Arsenal beating Villa. I thought actually like you say, I think it was the confidence thing there. I feel like there was a couple of, obviously, like Smith Rowe's goal was deflected, a bit lucky. You obviously had the penalty rebound, like again, arguably a bit lucky, but generally I feel like they created more chances. They looked more attacking. We obviously got Chelsea. Talk about absolutely smashed Norwich. I don't see that as being any big surprise at the moment. Norwich cannot play football from the back, which they seem to insist on trying to do. If you want to roll a ball out to your defenders at the back when you've got the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea, to be Arsenal, Man U, Tottenham, these front forwards running at you to close you down, and you want to try and play from the back, I'm sorry. No,
I'm sorry to disrespect to West Ham fans out there. Your team is definitely a threat. I experienced that.
Yeah. There's loads.
It's not just the big six. Don't worry. We do talk about more than just the big six.
There's 19 other teams that in that situation are going to close down Norwich at the back that quickly. I don't know why they're insisting on playing out from Krul, but just generally they just looked mismatched, and actually what they looked against Chelsea was defeated before they even the goal rate started. As soon as that first goal went down, it was kind of like all the players went, here we go, and just let it happen. and I just, it's frustrating. But I think again, another manager that needs to go. Again, we'll talk about that in the Q&A, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But obviously, this does lead us on to Team of the Weeks.
Yeah.
So
Game we didn't
predictions.
mention was the Watford one, which brings us to that. Watford 5-2.
Yes, Watford 5-2. When it was looking like actually a lot closer of a game, and then something switched, like momentum kind of switched, almost like it does in FIFA. Like it literally just switched, and then Watford just seemed to absolutely hammer them. In those sort of last 20 minutes or so, and Josh King.
The ex-Everton flop.
Yeah,
it wouldn't shock me if someone in the crowd incited him and then he decided, right, that's it.
He did kind of reference it, didn't he, in his interview?
Absolutely.
He said, like, especially after what happened to me. Like,
he
so he kind of did.
out.
So he did kind of mention it a little bit. He's obviously going to get a Team of the Week card without a doubt. I would like to see that be the boosted one because they have killed his stats this year. So if he was to go to an 84, he'd at least have potentially 84 pace, 86 shooting, 84 dribbling. That would make him a usable card. But at 81 pace, 82 shooting, 80 dribbling, he's going to fall into the 11k discard bracket.
He's probably going to do that anyway. I mean, look what happened with a card like Gvarvidal. Like, he's an insanely good card, yet still dead cheap. And there's a Team of the Week SBC that has made that everyone from Team of the Week 1 to 5.
Yeah,
no, it's only 1 to 5. It's not 1 to 5.
Oh, it's 1 to 5.
It's not 6. So
he will be exempt from that at least. Simeone scored 4 goals. Again, looks like an okay card. I think this one on the Team of the Week has been boosted because it's at an 84, and I'm pretty sure his base card is 80 or 79. Yeah, something like that. Haller, I know that he scored 1 goal. Volland,
75. I think Simeone.
I have used Volland in game, and his shooting is ridiculous. It is so good. But even still, he's not going to be used as a 75 pace forward on this inform.
I disagree with you. With the power invested in Andre Silva, that is a usable card.
I know. He's your,
I will
he's
not
your
hear
sort of
it.
card. We'll have a Volland, Cruiser, and Andre Silva forward line.
Damn right.
Mason Mount had a good game.
Incredible, to say the
got
least.
his hat trick.
And assist.
I think he definitely will get an inform. There's no one on the Man City game from here. I don't think. I mean, I watched it again. Foden. Everyone's thinking, "Oh, Foden's going to get one." He got 2 goals and an assist. Well, I mean, let's face it. One of them hit him on the back of the heel. He didn't know much about it. But he did again put in another great performance. The only thing is, his inform was 2 weeks ago. EA don't like to do that kind of thing. But Salah definitely getting one, obviously for his hat trick. Then you got some others. There's a couple of sort of nice looking upgrades on the one to watchers. So Upamecano and David Alaba. So I think Luke's made some coins off Upa, and I'm sure anyone that picked them up untradeable in their one to watch packs or anything will be delighted. And then kind of after that, there's sort of a few just your standard kind of players. I don't know what this Coletta Carr guy for Marseille as a centre back would have got it for. I saw it was 0-0, so I'm guessing he is mostly responsible for stopping goals going in, as opposed to their goalie.
Big Steve.
Then the other
Paul Lopez.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? Paul Lopez. Yeah, and then the other sort of bigger upgrade is Coates for Sporting Lisbon, getting a nice 85 card. I mean, 88 physical, 84 defence with 70 pace. So he falls a little bit under the pace marker, but for those that like a nice Liga NOS team, especially with Pepe being so good this year, and then Manafa having the road to the knockout card, there's some good teams and good players there, and good ways to sort of make a few little different teams up. But generally, anyone getting red picks, anyone wanting to pack an inform, I suppose Mount and Salah, and then obviously your Upas and your Alabas are going to be the only ones people want to see. Any of them? I mean, you guys are going to play FUT Champs for these cards?
I should probably play FUT Champs this weekend. Given the week off and everything, I had it before. I think it's currently looking like a week off, week on, week off, week on basis if I can qualify.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I will, with that kind of a loaded team of the week, go for it. There's some very, very nice cards in there throughout. As you said, Volland I would love. That would be a nice... That might even replace Haaland at the strikers. I like to prove points. When I say pace doesn't matter, I will commit to that.
You're going to back it.
And I will back myself with strikers not needing pace.
I respect it. Mers?
I've got an untradeable one to watch Alaba on my content account. So if he gets in team of the week, that's good straight away for me. So don't really need him if I got him as a red pick. For red pick wise, I guess I probably wouldn't say no to Mason Mount, even though 76 pace isn't too bad to be fair, but 86 passing, I hate the passing in this game, so anyone with high passing I think makes life a tiny incy wincy bit better in life.
And what is he in terms of his weak foot and skill moves? So he's 3-4.
3-4 is it now? He was 3-3 last year, I think.
So he's got a 4-star weak foot. He's high, which as a centre mid would be good. Like you say, you probably not want to pay him at cam with that little bit lesser pace. But yeah, as a centre mid, he would be good with 4-star weak foot and an 86 passing. Yeah, I can see what you mean. It'd be a good addition to most Prem teams.
I mean, I've also got my team of the week pack from FUT Champs as well, so I'm going to open that on Wednesday and just have a massive punt at trying to get a tradable Salah, I guess.
Trying to get yourself a Salah,
yeah. But otherwise, I feel like I'm just going to end up probably packing something like Josulu, Oliver Torres, and probably
Oli Torres could be a Liga NOS sides. Nice strong link to Luis Diaz and the likes, Let's pick
out your three more likely ones. So you might get Taremi, and then Eric Exposito and Berisha.
Yeah, it's like so you get pretty much, you open up that team of the week pack and you're guaranteed to probably get something atrocious. I don't think you never really get a win from it, in my opinion, or unless you're incredibly lucky. But I wouldn't really class myself in that bracket, considering what I've seen other people get so far this year in the packs.
Would I've just seen one of my viewers in Shantius just get himself from the Prime pack. He's just got himself Werner, which is really nice.
Oh wow!
So that's nice for him. Nice little untradeable Werner. Exactly what you were after, Brad.
I would absolutely
be more like
Shan. That card.
Be more like Shan.
Well, we've got another Q&A this week. I'm gonna make this the weekly feature. So straight off the bat, I'm gonna do question number 1. This came from a certain B-Rad 86. I don't know who this fella is. He said, "What is your favourite cold beverage?" So I think we'll go to Brad first for this. Like, what's your favourite cold beverage? What's your go-to drink? Alcoholic and maybe non-alcoholic.
Oh, so I don't drink alcohol anymore.
Okay.
And hashtag not spawn. What I'm holding up to the camera is Pepsi Max, no caffeine.
You're really trying to get these spawns, aren't you? You tried with them in the corner all that time ago.
Yeah.
You've got a bottle on standby. It's like you knew this question was coming from someone.
No, I just
It's almost like you wrote it.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I'm sort of essentially caffeine. Well, as much caffeine free as I can be, and alcohol free.
Okay.
So alcoholic drinks. I mean, I love my ales and my craft ales. So if I do want to have, I actually enjoy the taste of drinking them rather than just drinking them for a purpose of getting drunk. So I do like the Ghost Ship 0.5. It's like the non-alcoholic version, low alcohol version. So that would be my sort of cold beverage, alcoholic drink, or as close to an alcoholic drink. But yeah, love me a Pepsi Max, no caffeine.
I mean, Luke, what about yourself?
For myself, my current go-to alcoholic drink is a nice little bit of a Southern Comfort and lemonade. It's not too heavy hitting, but it's something that you can just take away and drink, sort of without having to have a pint. So a bit more like a slow burner over the night. But if we're talking about soft drinks that I have generally, if I go out and want to have a soft drink, I'll probably just grab an apple and mango G2O.
Ooh, okay,
fruity.
yeah. That's what I used to have when I was a younger wee little nipper and stuff like that.
Don't be teasing me. I used to have, when I was a wee nipper, the apple and melon one, the green one, which discontinued. I was very upset when they discontinued it.
God, when I was a wee nipper, drinks were in black and white.
As for myself, for non-alcoholic, if I was going to the supermarket trying to pick up a bottle of pop, I quite like the 7-Up cherry. That one is like one, or otherwise Lilt is another one. I quite like tropical sort of flavours most of the time. And then alcoholic beverage, I like the Copperberg mixed fruit. So that's the tropical one.
For me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I go to that
basically.
as well, don't worry.
No,
Oh,
is that the tropical one? Because I'm talking
mixed
about
berries.
I'm talking about the tropical one basically, which just love
you
tropical.
You said one name, then said tropical, and I was like,
yeah,
describing the flavours.
Yeah. Otherwise, if it was not like the non-tropical, I like the old malt strawberry and pomegranate.
Kiwi and lime. Oh,
I hate that lime one. Oh, God, it's like just just a bit too bitter for my like taste buds. I've got a bit of a sweet tooth. That's why I quite like cider, to be fair, because that fruity cider, because you can just down it pretty much.
Exactly.
It's just like drinking fruit juice. Next question. So obviously we have got asked, what do we think about Ollie? Is he going to get sacked? And potential maybe.
Hang on, that's a different question.
Is
he going to, or should he?
Oh, that's the same angle I was going to take.
Basically, is he going to go? Is he going to get sacked? Basically.
Okay, so word is no, he's not.
Yeah.
Should he? Almost definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, right? You've got one of the best players in the world there at the moment, and arguably what we were just talking about, like Varane and Pogba. You talk about other these players, right? These players, Bruno Fernandes, should not be losing 5-0 to a Liverpool, right? So is it the players? No doubt they play a part. They're on the pitch at the end of the day, so individual performances do matter. But is it also the manager? Of course it is. The way they set up, the way they play, is down to the coaching staff and the managers. So do you want to take that sort of team to the next level? Then if so, you need to go for a manager, not a bit of nostalgia. Because that kind of time now has passed. They want to now shoot on with that team, and they need to do that without Ollie. They need to do that with a proper manager before they run the risk of not being able to get one.
I also think that some of the players don't really want to play for Ollie. I feel like, say yesterday, when Pogba came on, 15 minutes later, he's getting himself a red card. I feel like he deliberately went out of his way to some ways to just get off that pitch.
That's the stretch.
It was a bad challenge, and everybody knows the rules. I don't think it was like oh my god, this guy needs to be put under a charge of GBH. Like, there's people that go in 2-footed that to me look exactly like they've gone to do what they do, and then there's his where I think he went over the top of the ball, and unfortunately that was dangerous going in that way anyway. So it was a red, no doubt, but I don't think he was out intentionally trying to injure Navigator. He might have been frustrated. I mean, who wasn't? Look at Ronaldo. Like, people are saying he should have been sent off. In a way, yeah, he should have been, because he was fortunate that in that moment he kicked the ball. If that ball gets moved, if Curtis Jones moves that ball to the side and Ronaldo kicks him in the gut, he's off the pitch, isn't he?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
like, instead of lying on the floor and that ball just happening to be there, Curtis Jones is lying on the floor, sees the ball, picks it up, and then Ronaldo kicks him in the gut. He gets sent off for violent conduct. So the intent is there. I don't see how it's any different. He was very fortunate in the circumstances that meant he only got a yellow. But clearly, frustration was on his face. Frustration was on, Pogba's face. I think I've seen a clip, but I don't know whether it's was taken at the same time or whether it's something that's been manipulated, of Ollie signalling some instructions and Ronaldo seemingly taking the mick, which I think it could just be very good video editing, but it looks like basically Ollie's signalling some weird hand signals from a touchline of things to do, and Ronaldo's mimicking them and laughing, basically. So whatever happens, there's unrest, isn't there?
There is.
So something's got to change.
Well, it's also like when Ollie tried to, in some ways, bench Ronaldo, and there was a lot of stick for doing that. But I do feel like Ronaldo needs to... He's an older person now, so he does need to have some games where he's resting. Obviously, a game like this is probably critical, and some of the smaller games he might need to be rested. But I feel, again, it's similar to like the Harry Kane sort of situation where Nuno feels like, oh, I can't bench Harry. And I feel like Ollie's pressurised in some ways that he's got to play Ronaldo week in, week out, even if necessarily Ronaldo might need a rest. And people are saying about Zidane coming in to replace Ollie as manager. I feel like that's what a lot of Man United fans want. But Zidane in his last season when Ronaldo was there, he was actually resting Ronaldo quite a lot of the time. I think Ronaldo was only playing about 27 games, so he got rested for about 12 because Zidane was thinking of the bigger picture and playing him in more key games, like where Ronaldo would make a bit more of a difference. So if
I feel like this is a bit like that question about Nuno, though. Is Ollie gonna do this? Well, I mean, he did it, and look at the reaction he got.
Exactly.
But the thing is, I don't think it was just... I don't know about you guys, but I don't think it was just the reaction for doing it. I think it was what, in my opinion, was a bit of a lie in his reasoning, where he said, well, me and Ronaldo have spoke, and we understand what you guys don't understand as journalists, as pundits, about him playing this year. Yet, if you saw Ronaldo's reaction to them situations, didn't seem to match what Ollie was saying, did it?
Yes, exactly. What do you think, Luke?
Well, I pretty much ditto what most of Brad said. He shouldn't be in a job, but he will be. Realistically, I do think not just Ronaldo should have been sent off as an additional. That was a red card in my opinion. Pogba got sent off, obviously, but Fred could have been sent off if he hadn't noticed last minute. Naby Keita, ironically, actually, I think it was, coming in when he led with a boot, nearly kicked him in the face. The fact he didn't, kicking someone in the face, even accidentally, has led to red cards before with, say, examples, quick off the top of my head, Muller against Ajax in the Champions League, Mane against Edison in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Did we have Griezmann the other night?
Griezmann the other night. Like, Fred was in danger of being sent off.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Think so. I didn't watch that game, in all honesty. But then there's also an opportunity to send Bruno Fernandes off on the byline. He decided to swing it at I think it was Curtis Jones again. Those two midfielders didn't get a lot of love from United, did they?
No,
but there was a studs up challenge that went out for a throw in. Bruno studs up, caught him around the ankle, like 2-footed. So it was 2-footed tackles flying in.
And do you agree that do you agree that it does just seem like it's out of frustration?
Absolutely. They were frustrated. It was 4-0 at the time for Bruno's one, 3-0 at the time Ronaldo's. They lost their heads entirely. But to be fair, you talk about the Pogba situation in terms of, did he just try and intentionally get himself sent off because he doesn't like the manager? And you look at the exact same fixture, 5-6 years ago, and Herrera gets absolutely snapped by Gerrard 15-20 seconds after coming on at half-time.
Yeah.
Do you think Gerrard didn't back the manager there? That was his guaranteed last appearance against United at Trafford. No, you don't question it on that one, because it's Pogba in the same way that the Harry Kane situation with how Harry Kane was viewed as a saint when he was throwing in all the I'm not going to go training, I'm still on holiday rubbish, and then Pogba hates the club because he turns up every week and just doesn't play as well as he does for France. Like,
the thing is,
I feel some of it's a Pogba agenda on that sentiment.
I know what you mean. I think we saw a different Pogba, didn't we, at the start of the season? We saw the France Pogba.
Yeah.
But I definitely think he's the sort of person that when things suddenly don't go his way or United's way, so one, he didn't get started, two, they were already lost before when he came on, that I think, he probably is the sort of person that thinks, I'm going to prove a point.
Yeah.
If I see myself in a 50-50, I'm going to go in a bit nasty. Yeah, I don't know.
But absolutely, Ollie should not see out the season, but he will. And that's
I
concerning for a United fan.
Without a doubt.
Very concerned.
Where does
I'm not
that
going to
mean
go
they
too
would?
in on this, because he's obviously got Spurs next week,
Yeah.
and that's going to mean I will probably end up eating a lot of these words that I end up saying here. Probably an Ollie masterclass, etc. But one thing I didn't get about Ollie, again, was that he decided specifically, okay, I've done 3 years of counter-attacking. I know what I should do against a big team in the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to press for once. That really famously press-resistant team that is Liverpool, we're going to press them.
Yeah.
And your game plan, it might not have worked if you go for a counter-attacking one, but it at least seems you've stuck to your guns and your game plan. If you eat shit for going and getting, five goals and Liverpool passing around the back to make sure they don't get any injuries, which is a luxury that you shouldn't be able to afford in a derby match.
No.
Like, Liverpool should have probably taken him to the sword, but I do agree that they played it safe. I'd have said take Salah off and just make sure he doesn't get injured. But you can't just switch up your entire game plan for one match when your game plan looks like it would be the best course of action to take in a position where United aren't the side that Liverpool is.
No.
They're not. They're under Ollie specifically. I'll word that way. Under Ollie, they are not the team that could compete with Liverpool in a pressing game, even though the pressing game is probably not the best way to tackle Liverpool. But less about that. That's not your time to experiment against Liverpool.
No.
Not when you've just got away with a 3-2 win against Atalanta, and then before that you've struggled against Leicester to a 4-2 loss.
Yeah,
you
when people are already calling for your head.
Experiment then. That's not the time to do it.
No.
I mean, if you do experiment, there was one thing I said in my sort of Discord chat, is that on the subject of benching Ronaldo, if you're going to do a pressing game, if you're going to mix that up, then you drop Ronaldo and you play Cavani. Cavani has the work rate to do the pressing role.
Yes,
I think it happened against Villarreal. Ironically, a friend sent me a clip that day of Cavani before the match. How there was a through ball played against Villarreal. It's down the left flank. Ronaldo could chase it and just sulks away. He sort of walks. Cavani goes from centre, that's sort of striker position, and manages to run over to the left, threaten the guy who's trying to see out a play for a goal kick, and wins the ball back. Like, Cavani has the passion and the drive to do a pressing game. If you're going to do that, don't play Ronaldo. If you're going to play the counter-attacking game, stick Ronaldo on, stick to that plan. He not only got the game plan wrong, but he didn't even commit to the game plan with the right players for the game plan.
No.
Like, he not just got that wrong, he got it wrong twice.
I'd also say if you want to go for the pressing game, also maybe change the formation up a little bit as well. Try and get some more of that attacking talent on the team sheet as well. Because when you look at like that attacking talent at Man United, like you say, I feel sorry for Cavani in some ways because he's not going to get the game time that he deserves to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, like getting him, then obviously you got your Rashfords, you got obviously Greenwood. Sancho's obviously having a bit of a weird one at the moment because he hasn't really contributed a lot so far. Well, he hasn't really contributed anything for Man United in the Premier League.
Try a proper chance first, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. But like obviously you've got all that talent. Go for maybe just the one holding midfielder, or even go for three at the back. Because obviously, has Ollie actually ever gone for a three at the back? I feel like it's always. I feel like it's always obviously the back four with Ollie.
I mean, if it's the only thing that he does now, and they lose another 4-0, then surely.
Yeah.
Surely that's it then.
But to go on to the last question for the Q&A, we're going to move on to the Norwich situation and whether they should sack Fark, and then maybe who would they get as a replacement, because obviously there's plenty of probably managers that could maybe suit more of a Norwich than obviously like Man United. But I'll go with you first, Brad, as you're more kin to Norwich.
Wait, hold up.
Oh,
I've managed to find that not only did he use a 3-5-2, he used it against Liverpool in 2019.
Okay.
Wow.
It just to compound it more. Obviously, Varane's not available. I checked the scoreline, but he definitely used it. Looks like October, and it looks like the October fixture as well. Right, hang on. Liverpool,
Getting the live information right now.
Man United. I don't know. I assume it didn't work, but we'll see.
In the meantime, I'll give you the short answer. Yes, Farker needs to be sacked.
Yeah.
Like I say, you cannot continue to be playing out from the back with a team that can't do it, and also I get impressed by all these other teams so quickly. And then on top of that, I just think that this kind of attitude, this kind of like mentality of this defeatist attitude and things and that, I think is not just down to the fact that they are getting pumped now every week. I think they're just a bit like probably some of the Man United players. They're calling for a change. I think it will happen. If I could choose who I was like, so I was now going to just have a look and see on the football bets on who the predictions for next Newcastle manager is going to be, because obviously that is a possibility. Yeah, so this is the guy I wanted to mention. This is the guy I would want at Norwich, Eddie Howe. Proven to be taking teams from lower leagues into the Premier League and also keeping them there for as long as Bournemouth were. That is the sort of guy that I would want. I've heard who is it? Nick. Was it McCartney?
Mick McCarthy.
Yeah. I've heard a rumour.
Whoa!
I don't like
Christ
the sound of it.
above. That's a downgrade. That's a downgrade.
Yeah.
That would be terrible. So hopefully not. I would like an Eddie Howe, but however, I saw something today to say that he is linked with the Newcastle job.
Yes, I've heard that too, but because of like what Newcastle's ambitions are meant to be, I can't see them actually going through with someone like Eddie Howe, especially as he's had quite a bit of a hiatus now between that Bournemouth job and this current present time. So I think like Eddie needs to get back into the game with the right club before even before being considered by a Premier League team. I think he needs to maybe go back into the Championship, maybe get a Championship team back up into the Premier League, and then prove himself in the Premier League again. I don't think he can walk straight into a Premier League game, personally.
Well, I think
Norwich are desperate enough.
I think not only are they desperate enough, but I think that there's a potential that obviously we already kind of know that they're not going to be staying up. So he's the guy to go down with them and rebuild them to get back, and then hopefully stay back.
I've looked up two things in the meantime. Mick McCarthy has just been sacked by Cardiff in recent times for 8 straight losses. And he also, don't forget, was an Ipswich manager for a long period of time. So this would be the worst possible thing Norwich could do.
Well, yeah, but let's not think that Paul Lambert went from Norwich to Ipswich the other way. So
this would be going from a man who got sacked by Ipswich and also has just gone on an 8-game losing streak. Yeah. That is not what you want replacing Daniel Farke. I'd gladly take Daniel Farke for the rest of the season if the only option was Mick McCarthy.
Oh yeah, definitely. Paulo Fonseca is apparently the top Newcastle.
The ex-Roma manager.
Yeah.
Yep. What I would say with Norwich situation is, I think similar to Fulham, they need to stop trying to play this European style football and just take a leaf out of like someone like Burnley's book, which is stick to maybe like English players that are proven like to be able to cope with the Premier League physicality, the intensity of the Premier League and stuff, because it works for Burnley. They keep buying like English players and stuff, and I feel like going and buying
to they make though.
Hey,
Burnley famously do not sign many people.
Yeah, but like when they like Burnley do obviously buy people, they're mainly buying people that are proven and tested. Whereas like look at Fulham, like both times that they've come up to the Premier League, they've tried to do this European style of playing from the back, signing players from like Ligue 1, from maybe the Bundesliga and stuff like that, and it's failed twice for them. And I feel like Norwich again are trying to copy that thing where they're going, okay, let's go and buy some like players from the continent, and then it doesn't ever work because it,
well, I think not only that
hence
as well.
why Maxwell Cornet joined Burnley this season.
Not only that, I think that like what he's done before, Farco, is like used some links that he has in Germany to buy some sort of second or third division German players. That's not what worked. So then this year went and bought basically other teams' reject players. Let's face it, they are, and expects to get a different result just because they're from what, Nice, and Lise Malou, or Rashika from Werder Bremen. Like I just think like I feel like Norwich needed to, at the start of the season, I said it, should have gone for a striker who is Premiership proven so they can get some goals. No, don't need Josh Sargent. Josh Sargent's been playing in the MLS, doesn't know anything about the way Premier League football's done, and Pookie had his shot and didn't do anything with it. Basically,
Sargent
they
came
could
from
have at
Werder
the
Bremen,
start
right?
of this year. Sorry,
Sargent came from Werder Bremen, right?
he was on loan in the MLS, wasn't he?
Which team did Rashika come from? That was
he
like
also came from
Werder
Bremen.
Bremen.
Yeah. Because that's it basically. Is also you look at like a lot of the other time with players that come from the
He's been in Werder Bremen
like
since 2018. Had Josh Sargent. He not
'cause a
touched
lot
the
of-
MLS probably since 2017.
a lot of players that come
Oh, wow.
from the continent need about a season usually to settle into the Premier League, unless obviously they're sort of like world class playing, which most of the time they can sort of step in and feel like hit the ball running basically with performances. But you look at a lot of them, they come in, they need a few months to settle in. Some of them don't even know the language, for instance, so they needed to learn that language, settle in, get acclimatized to the Premier League, get acclimatized to the climate as well, because like some people that come from Spain obviously don't like it because it's like cold and rainy half the time. But then obviously after that first season, then they're a bit more like Gabriel. Like last season was a bit like, well, in his first season was a bit unsettled, and he settled in nicely. Party last season, he was a bit like he wasn't quite fit enough. He wasn't like acclimatized, and now he's starting to look quite settled down. And now he's looking like the player that was at Atletico Madrid, which is again making maybe a bit of a difference for Arsenal right now as well. So it just shows that sometimes like they need the time, but the problem is players, teams like Norwich and Fulham and stuff are coming into the Premier League going, do you know what? Let's try and buy some of these players, and then they don't get settled in until towards the back end of the season when they're almost relegated. But other teams in the Premier League see that there's actually some class from these players, and then go and fucking pick them up from them as they get relegated.
Oh yeah, that has happened to Norwich like over several seasons. Like I've got no doubt that Max Aarons was already possibly going to be going, before this Premier League season started. No doubt he will when Norwich get relegated. I wouldn't be surprised if you'll see the likes of Cantwell move somewhere else. Generally, like that is what happens. They seem to like have a few players that sort of shine a little bit more in the Championship than others, and within 2 seasons they're gone. Look at Maddison, and players like that. It's just,
And the Murphy brothers.
Yeah, Murphy brothers, like obviously playing for Newcastle, not doing so well at the moment, but they're now getting an influx of money, and I don't think those players will end up staying there necessarily as this money gets filtered in through to buy players. Obviously they've got a time before they can build up to where they want to be in maybe 4 or 5 years, but yeah, it just kind of always happens. They just tend to always have the good players go, and then kind of have to restart again in the championship. And this is why, like, you know, this is partly why they're an up down team, because they go up, they then get relegated because the team's not good enough and they haven't built well enough, and they come in and kind of forget what got them like into the Premier League in the first place. Like, I haven't really seen Norwich take it to some teams like they did in the Championship last year. This season, maybe they're a bit scared to, because let's face it, their starting 4 games were top 4 teams in the Premier League. But you can't also invite them on, I think. But then you know, they go down to the Championship, and then they lose their bigger players. Then they have to have new players come in, or the second, you know, the reserve player in that position comes in. They kind of find their feet again, maybe get close to being promoted that season, if not the following season. By the time they've got it all together, they go up, and sure enough, in those 2 years, 3 players have been identified as being good enough to move on, and we repeat the cycle. It is how it always seems to go.
My question though is, with this criticism of Fulham's transfer policy and Norwich's transfer policy, there's only a set number of Premier League proven players in X position that they can get and then not be priced out of. You've got to think of that, because where are most of these Premier proven players going to be? Rival teams. How much rival teams going to want to sell them for? Oh wait, I mean, they managed to bring in a Premier League proven player in Billy Gilmore.
Yeah.
That's one, but that's not a rival team. That's a loan from a big team.
Yeah.
Who else would you recommend? Divock Origi is the main screaming at me. That's the one that screams to me.
Origi was the one that I think they should have gone for a lot harder. It was rumoured right near the start, and yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like they could have got him.
There's only a certain amount to go around, though. My point.
Yeah.
Like, I think you're not going to have Fulham and Norwich both having Premier League proven players that they can then go to and then sign and
like
throw the policy out the window. 40 million to Roma. I don't think that was.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit too much.
No.
Yeah, if they didn't have the pressure of having to offload him so they could fund elsewhere, then, and maybe could loan him out, then maybe Fulham or Norwich would have got him on loan. But yeah, they wanted the funds, didn't they? So
obviously
they've got a buyback clause on Tammy Abraham anyway. That's the thing. They've got a buyback on him. They've got him for 40 mil. If they want to do what they've done with every striker that seems to show up at Chelsea these days, they got a buyback clause on him, so they can then do a Lukaku and just buy him back for a significant amount more. They have that option. It's basically like a loan deal. If he does incredibly well, and say Werner's still doing rubbish, you can try and get rid of Werner to someone. Tammy comes back. They could do that.
They should have done that with De Bruyne.
They should have, but they didn't. Jose knew best. He just sent him out to Wolfsburg and went, "Go on him." And to be fair, the pundits at the time, when he joined, even when he joined Man City, were saying, "This is crazy. He's clearly a player that doesn't work in the Premier League."
Yeah.
And now Mers looks a bit, not Mers, Paul Merson, looks a bit more like an idiot for that one. Whenever you look back at that clip when he goes, he's not Premier League. He's proven he's not good in the Premier League. I think this is a silly signing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, look at say for instance Brentford. They haven't really changed their philosophy much since getting into the Premier League, and they're not doing badly at the moment.
No,
they haven't really done.
Their policy is entirely different, though. Their policy is very different. They buy promising players based off statistics in low divisions and then sell them for big money. That's what
Norwich could do, though. Norwich could do that as well.
But also, what I feel like they have gone up and actually continued their game plan. They've continued, like when they played Liverpool, they went at Liverpool. That's what you needed to do. Like these teams, these teams that you're going to play against, where you're already kind of in that mindset of like, oh, well, do you know what? We're probably going to lose this today, but we need to go and have a go. Not even if it's not just for like, so we feel like we've got something out of this game, so the fans feel like they've got something out of us in this game, like rather than just basically what happened against Chelsea, and you think, oh, hang on, this could end up being 10. the mentality of Brentford, as soon as they stepped in that first game, and ever since, like, has been solid. They've carried on the way they won the Championship into the Premier League, and have actually proven that has worked for them. And I think Norwich didn't do the same thing. They came in and they went, "Oh, we've got 4 of the toughest teams at the start here. Let's just go a bit careful, a bit cautious. We'll try and play it from the back and hold possession," and then realise that, oh, hang on a minute, these guys are a bit quick, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting situation, but I feel like no matter what happens, Norwich are definitely going down. I feel like even a new manager, I don't think can necessarily save them, because, I mean, they could maybe be a bit wiser in the January transfer window, I guess, but
it's not even that. I think that unfortunately their very small chance of staying up, unfortunately, now relies on other teams. So it relies on basically what Burnley, Newcastle, Leeds, Southampton not getting up points, which, let's face it, they will.
Yeah.
Watford included in there as well.
Yeah.
So
you're looking at that. So Norwich
Leeds.
2 points, Burnley, Newcastle 4 points, and then it's 7 and 8 for Leeds and Southampton. To me, Leeds have gone off the board, like we said, but to me, a Burnley and a Southampton and a Palace are going to pick up points. Against teams this year. They will, not just against other mid-table teams. They will upset some teams this year with the way they play, especially Burnley. Lots of people find them really hard to play against. But I think, just sitting there at the bottom, 2 goals scored, 23 conceded. Yeah, Norwich are a dead cert.
I think that is the end of the Q&A section then. That is quite a long Q&A section, I think. We've gone very deep into the answering the questions from you listeners and viewers.
You lucky guys.
Yep. So, I mean, if you want to give us some more questions, feel free to do that. You can give us the questions every Monday over on Twitter at FSB Creators. You can also attach them onto Spotify as well. So guys, make sure to do that. It can be anything. Like today, obviously, we answered the question about the beverages and football related. We didn't even answer a FIFA related question there, to be fair. So, but yeah, it can be FIFA, football, casual, everyday, random sort of questions, as long as it's clean and appropriate for basically podcasts and not getting demonetized or anything like that. It's all okay. Everything is fair game. But guys, thank you for listening. We have obviously got heated head-to-head around the Politano. Going to be live on Thursday, hopefully. Then obviously we're going to have the bonus draft builder, and hopefully I'm not going to end up with a disaster of a situation that I had last week. And then Luke tipped it off by DMing us with a solution that I could have avoided losing, which
yes, I did. I went in researching, mate. I went in full research mode. I was like, nah, there's got to be something more here. You can't have some random off-league goalkeeper. Nah. Try and figure out a way. Got one less Frenchman, but got much better with a perfect link. You see that perfect link on the bench, you go, surely that's an extra league. That's chemistry for both of them. It just works.
Well, I did think about it, but never mind. But yeah, the giveaway obviously will be drawn on the next episode of Budget Builder, but not Budget Builder, sorry. Bonus Draft Builder for Saturday, but obviously be drawn on the Friday evening. So make sure to get your entries in, which is very simple. Just comment on the video, go onto Twitter, retweet it, tag a few friends. Make sure you're following us, because if you're not following us, we'll probably be ineligible, because hopefully Brad will be using one of these auto pickers that actually can make sure that you're doing all the criteria, basically. So, so guys, make sure to follow all the criteria, and you'll get yourself 2,200 FIFA points, hopefully. But guys, again, thank you for listening. Guys, thank you for being on today's podcast, as always.
Thank you, lads.
Pleasure.
And we will see you all in the next video and the next podcast. Bye.
Peace out.